there. Oh, I welcome you to day 7. And the topic for today is wishes. So, we're going to learn how we're going to deal with wishes. First of all, let's see what are wishes. Now, wishes are something you ask for and you don't have that currently, which means you have a regret that you don't have something and you're just wishing and asking that you get that. Okay, you're imagining and you're going to ask. But that is not the current situation, and that is the reason why you are asking. Okay, so that is a wish. Now, if I knew, that is one way of asking. And another way is I wish I knew. That's, both these are correct. Okay, we're going to learn in depth as to how we could use both these phrases. Okay, so let's take a look at an example. Here, Sarah wants to phone Paul. She wants to call someone and she can't do it because she doesn't know his number. So she's saying to herself, she's thinking in her mind probably, and she's saying, if only I knew his number, then I would be able to call him. So now Sarah's thinking and she's saying, if I knew, okay, she's using the phrase, if you see a if I knew, okay, which means she's now regretting that she doesn't have his number. If only, she has. But in reality, she does not have it. You need to understand that. So, what does this tell us? It tells that she doesn't know his number, she doesn't have his number, and she's imagining the situation. She's having that regret that she doesn't have it. And in the real, in reality, that she doesn't know Paul's number. Okay, so let's take a look at a few examples. When we imagine a situation, when we don't have something, when we miss something, when we regret something, and we're just saying, oh, I wish, this could happen, that could happen. So we're going to take a look at that. Okay, what we can do is we can use if, okay, plus the past, simple past, and you could say if I knew, or you can also choose to say if you were, or you can say if we did. You could use one of these and try it out. Let's take a look at a few phrases. But the meaning is present and not in the past. Although they're using the formula is using if plus the simple past, it is still in the present tense and not in the past tense. Okay, we want you to understand that. So there are many things I would like to do if I had more time. So the truth is, he or she does not have more time. Okay, that is the truth. But it's just the heart's desire. He's regretting he doesn't have time. And if only he had more time, he would like to do so many other things, right? So, if I had more time. So, this is a wish. Let's take a look at another phrase. Now, the reason why we're giving so many phrases, we're going to give you a lot of phrases and we're going to explain as much as possible. There are going to be some phrases which I'm going to show to you, but we want you to go through them. Why are we giving you these phrases, these bonuses? So that you can learn different sentences and memorize new sentences. Now, if you're learning this for the first time, then if you memorize the right way of saying it, the right way of writing it, then that correct sentence will get registered in your mind and you will be able to use it in different situations in your day-to-day life. Okay, let's take a look at the next phrase. If I didn't want to go to the party, I wouldn't go. Now, the reality is I want to go, okay, but then he's like having no choice. Okay, so here the person really wants to go, but then he doesn't have a choice here. Take a look at the next one. We wouldn't have money if we didn't work. Okay, so here the person says he's working full time, and the only reason they're having money is because they are working. So if we didn't have work, so but in truth, the fact is that they have work and that is why they have the money, right? Another example, If you were in my position, what would you do? The person is so confused, they don't know what to do, and they're asking an opinion of someone else. So they're asking someone else to wish or to check, what they would do in their situation. So they say, if you were in my position, the truth is the other person who's listening is not in their position. They have to decide for themselves. They have to be their own judge. But in this case, this person is asking someone else's opinion because they're not able to decide for themselves and they're just wishing. Okay. Another example is, it's a pity he can't drive. It would be useful if he could. The truth is, he's not able to drive. And if he knew how to drive, okay, then it would have been so much easier, wouldn't it? Like in life, in real life situations, I think everybody needs to know how to drive. So now that you know how to make your wishes, even though it's not a reality, even though they're using if plus a past, simple past tense, it is still meaning and talking about the current present situation. Okay, let's take a look. We use the past tense, simple past, in the same way after wish. Now, after wish, I wish I knew. That's one way of saying it. Another way is, I wish you were, etc. Etc. means there are so many other ways of saying it. We're teaching you just a few so that you will at least start learning the right structure and start using it from now on. Now, we use wish to say that we regret something and that something is not as we would like it to be. Either we're regretting that we don't have it, we're imagining it, or we just wish if we had it, life would be much better, right? So I wish I knew Paul's phone number, but in truth, she doesn't know. Okay, the person doesn't know, and I don't know it, and I regret this. Do you ever wish you could fly? The truth is, if we ever had wings and the power to fly, it would be so awesome and so great, right? But unfortunately, we don't have wings, and it's just a wish. We can keep wishing as we want, but that's never going to be the truth, correct? Another sentence. It rains a lot here. I wish it didn't rain so much. Probably it's like, so bad. The weather's so bad. It's raining continuously, and they're gone for a vacation and they're not able to move around only because it's rainy and the place is so wet, right? And if it hadn't rained, then they would be able to go out. But in truth, it is raining cats and dogs. Raining cats and dogs means raining heavily. Okay, which means you can't walk, the streets and roads are flooded. Lots of problems are there when it's raining. Even I don't like rain, but we need water. Okay, let's move on. It's very crowded here. I wish they went so. Okay, so it's like packed, like shoulder to shoulder, and then the person who's saying this is just wishing that the place wasn't so crowded. Okay, it went so crowded. If I complete that, maybe that would give some sense. Okay, so now that you understood, in the truth, in reality, the place is so crowded, but he's just wishing that it wasn't the situation and that the roads would be free to probably move around, go for shopping. They could do so many things if there is not much crowd. Now, okay, if there were not so many people, I think this is the, probably the continuation of the previous sentence. And yeah, that's much better. So I wish there weren't so many people, but unfortunately, in truth, there are so many people there. Lots of people, in fact. Now, I wish I didn't have to work tomorrow, but unfortunately, I do. Okay, the person is probably banking on a Saturday holiday. Usually, Saturdays, weekends, Saturday and Sunday are holidays. 90% of the time. But then this person probably, last moment, his boss has called him and told him to work on a Saturday, and he's saying, I wish I didn't have to take, we didn't have to work so much, tomorrow, but unfortunately I've got to work. And the truth is, he does not want to, but he's forced to do. So he's just making a wish here. Now, this wish is never going to come to pass because he has to do it and he knows it. But he's just saying, if that had happened, life would be much better. Now, If you were to use I were, you could also use I was. Now, both are correct. You could use any one of this to make your wish. Now, if you say after I, I'm sorry, after if and wish, okay, you can use where instead of was. So you could either choose to use where or you can choose to use was to explain your wish. Okay, so if I were, or I wish it were, etc. You can also say if I was, or you can say I wish it was. Both are possible, both are grammatically correct. We're just telling you there are two different ways of doing it. Okay, so now that you know you could use was, where, okay, in different places, let's take a look at a few examples. If I were you, I wouldn't buy that coat. So two people are going for shopping. Let's take this instance. Two people are going for shopping. One person is telling the other, if I was you, I wouldn't take that. It's not my color. That's not my taste. That's not my type. Perhaps, the person is looking for a cheaper product and they're just picking whatever they see, the first thing that they're able to see, and they put their hands on. But the other person who's come tagged along together is saying, no, 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 don't take that. It's not good. So he's just saying, if I were you, it's a wish. He's not using the word wish here, but that he's literally saying, if I was you, I wouldn't do it. Now, the next sentence is, if I were you, I wouldn't have passed this exam, meaning let's say this person, two people again, the first person has not learned or prepared for the exam. Still, he managed to go write the exam and succeed, which meaning he passed the exam. So the other person saying, if I had gone to the exam, I would have freaked out probably and not written a word and I wouldn't have passed. But luckily, this guy didn't learn, but he still managed to pass the exam. That's what they're meaning. The next one is, I'd go for a walk if it went so cold. So, or you can say, I would go for a walk if it wasn't so cold. Both weren't and wasn't are grammatically correct. You could choose to use any one sentence. If I'm sorry, I wish she were here. Okay. Or you can also say, I wish she was here. One is the following, and both are correct. Just choose to use any one, where or was. Okay. Now, we do not normally use would in the if plus, the past tense of the sentence where you're wishing something. Okay. But take a look at these sentences. If I were rich, I would travel a lot. In truth, you will not say not if I would be rich. Okay. Here, they will not use the model verbs would or could. Okay. So you would not say if I would be rich. You will literally say if I were rich. You can also say if I was rich, I would have traveled a lot. Okay. The next one is, who would you ask if you needed help? Okay, and you cannot say it's wrong, grammatically wrong to say not if you would need. Okay, so who would you ask if you needed help? Here instead of needed, you cannot use the model word would. Okay, the next one is, I wish I had to read. Okay, I wish I had something to read. You cannot say, I wish I would have something to read. Okay, it's not right. The right way of saying is just directly, I wish I had something to read. All right, so now that we've gone through these exercises, let's take a look at other sentences. So we use wish, would, when we would like something to happen or change. As I told you earlier, when you're wishing itself, you want something to change for good because you feel that the current situation is not as good as what it seems. Okay, so I wish you would listen. Two people are talking, one person is not listening, and the other person is just saying, oh my God, it's so difficult. I wish you would listen to me. Okay, the next sentence is, I wish it would stop raining. It's pouring cats and dogs. It's raining heavily. The streets are flooded. And I just want this. It's a future wish. Okay, right now it's in present tense, it is currently raining, but he's just wishing that in the future it would stop raining, and this is a future wish. Now the phone has been ringing 5 minutes now, so he's just wishing somebody would just lift the phone and answer it. Okay, so I wish somebody would answer it. Okay, so because it's been ringing for quite some time now, for the past 5 minutes, and that's a lot of time. Now, the next sentence is I wish you could do something instead of just sitting there and doing nothing. So, someone is looking at another person and saying, you're just sitting there all day and not doing anything about it. Could you go and do some work? I just wish you could do something more productive with the time you have right now instead of just sitting there and wasting your time. Now, another use of could sometimes mean would be able to, and sometimes was were able to. So the modal word would be able to can mean was or were to. Take a look at this. She could get a better job if she could speak English. Here they are not using the word wish, but that is exactly what they're doing. If she could get a better job if she could speak in English. So this is a secret wish. Right now in reality she is not able to speak, so she could get a job only if she would be able to get. So the word could, would, the modal verbs can be used instead of was or were, which denotes to be able to or to have the ability to do something. Again, it's a secret wish. They're not using the word wish. That's what it means. The next one is if only she could speak, it means if she was or were able to speak, then she will get the job. Okay, so this is the continuation of this particular statement here. It's the continuation of that. So if she could get, she would be able to get. Okay, if she could get is equal to she would be able to get. So could is just an ability, and would is just a possibility that if they try, they will succeed. The next one is I wish I could help you. So I wish I could is equal to I wish I was able to. So could, to have the ability to do something. Right? I hope now you understood where you could use I wish I could, I was, I were, secretly wishing for something that is not in the reality. Okay? Now we're going to give you bonus sentences. As I told you earlier, this is for practice purpose alone. I'm going to give you two examples alone, but we have a couple of sentences. I think we've got like 10 sentences there for you to practice. This is for you to go through the sentences. Okay? Now, I'll give you the first two. Okay? If I knew, okay, in the bracket, if you see, you need to correct the sentence. Okay? Put the verb into the correct form, which means in the bracket, the highlighted word is given in the present tense, and we want you to put it in the correct form. Okay, and the wish is usually if plus simple past, and then you follow it by a few words. So if the word no is in the present tense and it has to become the simple past. So if I knew, no is present tense, knew is past tense. So if I knew his number, I would phone him. The next situation is if the bracket, the question is I not buy. That's the question given to you, and you need to change that to the right form. So I not buy is very wrong, it's grammatically wrong. So you should say I wouldn't buy or I would not buy. Wouldn't is the short form of would not, and you will say I wouldn't buy that coat if I were you. It's again a wish. Okay, they're not using the word, nevertheless that's what they're secretly saying. Okay, now, we want you to go through like this. The words which are highlighted in yellow are the question. They are in the present tense. We want you to change it to the past tense and simple past, and that it will convert into a wish. All these are different ways of wishing. We want you to learn and practice these sentences so that you could use all these sentences in your day to day life, memorize them so that you will be able to speak English fluently. Okay, so I'm going to slowly scroll down so that you can take a look at these sentences. Please practice them, write them down so that they will, register in your mind. And when you start writing, you will be able to recollect it and keep it in your memory for a very long time. Now, I'm going to go on to the next exercise. Here again, I'm going to give you two examples, and the others are for you to go home and practice. Okay, so write a sentence with if for each situation. Okay, the situation is this. The serial number is the question, and the ones with bracket is the answer. So the question is, we don't see you very often because you live so far away. All they want you to do is make it a wish. Okay, put if. Okay, if you didn't live so far. So don't see becomes if you didn't live so far, we would. Okay, we'd is just a contracted form of we would. We would is the expanded form, and we'd is the short form, the contracted form of we would. They're giving you both this difference here so that you will learn. Okay, so if you didn't live so far, we'd see you more often. Okay, I hope you understood that. Let's take a look at which means in reality the person is living so far, and that is the reason why they are not able to see that person often. Okay, and it's a regret. They feel so sad. If only you lived close, we would be able to see you more often. Now, another example is the question says it's a nice book, but it's too expensive. I'm not going to buy it. Okay, which means like right now he's not going to buy it only because it's too expensive. But if it wasn't expensive and if it was cheap, then everybody would buy it, and this particular person would also buy it. So he's saying, I would buy if it weren't so expensive. If it was only cheap, in reality, okay, it is not cheap, it's very expensive. But he's just wishing that if it was cheap, then he would buy the book. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Please go through the other phrases so that you will know how the question works. The first one, the ones that have the number are the questions, and the ones with the arrow are the right answers. So you have the answers also given to you. Practice them, write them down, and memorize these sentences so that you can use them in your everyday life. Okay? Now, the next sentence is write sentences beginning with I wish. Here, they're literally wanting you to use the word I wish. Okay? The first one is, I don't have a computer and I need one. So he doesn't have a computer. He's secretly wishing and regretting he doesn't have one. And he's secretly wishing that he has a computer. So he says, I wish I had a computer. Imagine you have a genie, okay? And, you can make your wish. So this is like exactly that, okay? And it's so funny because, if you had that genie, you could make your wish. So the next sentence is Helen isn't here and I need her, need and I need to yeah, I need to see her. Sorry, my bad. Helen isn't here and I need to see her. Let's say, for example, the person has drawn some image. Let's say, he drew a beautiful image and he's saying, Helen isn't here. I wish she saw this. In reality, she's not there, but he's just secretly wishing that. If Helen was there, she would, probably appreciate him or her. That is why he's saying, I wish Helen was here, or you can also say, I wish Helen were here. Both are correct. You could use any one of these words and say the entire phrase. Okay? I want you to practice the other sentences also at home. Pause the video, write down the sentences, memorize the right way of saying it so that you can start speaking English fluently. The next one is write your own sentences beginning with I wish. Another way of saying your wish. Okay, so the question says somewhere you'd like to be now, on the beach perhaps, in New York, in bed, etc. But we want you to just say where you would like to be. So I wish I was at home. I wish I was, in New York. You wherever you want to be, you could just wish that here. So the right way of saying it is I wish I was, I was at the beach, or I wish I was in New York, whatever you want to say. I wish I was in bed. Probably you're very tired, so you can say, I wish I was in bed right now. It's like awesome feeling, right? Another sentence is something you would like to have: a motorbike, more friends, lots of money, whatever be your wish. We want you to wish that. So you can say, I wish I had a big garden. I wish I had a BMW car, or anything, whatever you want to have, just wish for that. It's just that you're just wishing. It's not going to, just because you're wishing, it's not going to happen because we don't have the genie with us. But it's a secret desire that we are longing for, and it's not there in the reality. Wishing is not going to hurt. So go on, wish away. So we've given you a couple of other sentences. We want you to learn them. Okay. So please practice these sentences and make sure you know them. Okay. Thank you so much for listening patiently to me. Okay, you've listened to me very patiently. So the task for today is day 7, and the task for today is an embarrassing moment. We want you to write an embarrassing moment. Let's say, if I should give you an example, an embarrassing moment for me was once I was standing in this bus stop when I was a student, okay, and I was in London, okay, I did my master's there, and I was in London and I was standing at this bus stop, and I was wearing a very short dress, and there was this vehicle that whizzed past by, and it probably had something very sharp that quickly tore my dress, and this was in broad daylight on the road. I was standing too close to the vehicle, and the vehicle just whizzed past by accidentally, of course, because they didn't know that this thing was sticking out, and I didn't know it's going to tear my, dress. And it was such an embarrassing moment because my dress tore, and people were just staring at me, and it was such an embarrassing plight. So let us know if you have encountered any embarrassing moment. If you haven't, then you could add any given topic of your choice here. But I'm sure everybody would have one embarrassing moment at least. Comment below and let us know what. Shoot a video and send it to us on Facebook as to what your embarrassing moment was. Now, do you think this particular incident would impact your life? For me, I think I was sad for like half an hour, and then after half an hour, I was like, okay, let's go, let's get going. I couldn't sit and mourn about it all day, but it's now funny when I can recollect what had happened, years back. But at that point of time, it was really embarrassing. And yes, I did mourn for it for like half an hour. That's it, and more than that. So let us know if yes, if that embarrassing moment did have an impact on your life. Why did it have an impact? And if it did not, then also give us the reason why it didn't impact you. Also, let us know what defines you. What is your character? For me, it's like I don't take anything very serious. For me, I don't care what the world thinks about me. It just happened, and it was an incident. Nobody expected this, and incidents happen in day-to-day life, trust me. Now, you can also let us know if you live for yourself or live for others, meaning you look for others' opinion more than yours. Do you value their opinion? I don't. For me, it's what I want to do with my life, and I take my life very seriously. Maybe I would, listen to what my family members say, but end of the day, I prefer to decide for myself. So let us know what you think about this topic. If you would like to change this topic, please be my guest, change it and put whatever you want. However, you need to shoot today's video. The topic for today is an embarrassing moment. But if you feel very embarrassed to share it or talk about it, then you can add whatever topic you want. Speak for a minimum of 2 minutes, a maximum of 5 minutes, because now you are an intermediate speaker. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day. Bye now.